What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and I was watching the AFL website this morning. Today's Monday, even though you're seeing this on Wednesday. And the latest episode of Whistleblowers came out, which is where they talked to an umpire, the umpiring boss, Hayden Kennedy, about particular issues. So the first thing they talked about was deliberate behinds. All right, we spoke about that in NAB Challenge Round 3 on this show. Spoke about deliberate behinds on NAB Challenge Round 3. I don't know why they're talking about it now. I guess they paid 2 on the weekend that were there, so they actually paid free kicks that were there, and it's suddenly a talking point. And then after that, they spoke about red cards, which we spoke about in round 5. So what are you doing, you bloody muppets? You're too slow to react to everything. Hurry up and get with the times. Get with the news. What did we talk about 3 weeks ago? We talked about a 10-team final. What are we talking about? Talking about the Women's League. I'm sure you're going to talk about that next week. Why is my camera out of focus? I've had enough. Bloody hell. You know, the next thing we know, that next week they'll be talking about bloody rivalry round, bringing that back. Because this is what we do on this show. We bring the biggest news or the biggest talking points that you want to see to fruition and get it done. So I don't know what mumbo jumbo they want to come up with next week, but good luck to you. Have a nice article about it, but get around it because we do it first here. Now let's talk about the future of the AFL and where is the talent pool going to come from. I want to talk about the rise of Mason Cox, Jason Holmes, these types of players, and when I say these types of players, I mean American players. That's right, because we think about where are we going to get the next influx of talent? How are we going to expand the game of AFL on an international level? And the solution is simple, is get basketballers from the US, like a Mason Cox, like a Jason Holmes, to play the game. You look at Scotty Pendlebury, basketball background, extremely good player in tight. The skills are transferable. They are athletes. They know how to do it. Maybe the kicking is probably going to be the hardest thing, kicking the ball. But you can learn to kick the football. You don't instantly have just, well, I guess you can kind of have this knack, but you've got footy knowledge and the athleticism that people can provide through the basketball. Like, they play 100 billion games a year or whatever. Like, there's so many games in their season, something like 80 or 75, or they have a friggin' huge season, right? So they're definitely going to be fit if they're playing 2-3 games a week. And you bring them into an AFL side, you say, right, you've got to be a little bit maybe more aerobically fit, because basketball is a pretty anaerobic sport, but the footwork involved and just the smarts around a contest is always going to be critical. Like Mason Cox, he's a 200 centimeter player, but he's not your typical AFL ruckman. He's a forward. He's bigger than, there's not really many defenders that are 200 centimeters. They're probably 195, maybe like max. So he's going to be the biggest guy on the field wherever he goes. Jason Holmes also, got that big leap in the ruck. And Mason Cox plays ruck as well. But, your typical AFL ruckman are these big dudes who don't really run. They can't really have momentum. I have no idea how that went in. And if you look at basketball players and they're so quick off their feet. That's the difference between watching an AFL ruckman and watching, a basketball player who's super athletic. And I'm just trying to, that's one way to explain it. Obviously, there's not as much money in the game as there is probably in the NBA, but you take that academy over there. I think Richmond and North Melbourne are the 2 clubs that actually do have scouts over at the American AFL draft or the combine this season. So whether or not we see any more American players taken by either Richmond or North Melbourne come the end of the year will be interesting to see. I think there was about 3 or 4 clubs in the running for Mason Cox when he chose Collingwood in the end there. Oh, Rioli, that's special. But it's got a bit all Brucey there. But yeah, definitely American players coming into the AFL system is going to be only a positive for us. You say, well, maybe that gives Australians less of a chance. Well, to be fair, we're probably only going to get maybe 2 or 3 maximum per draft season per year, and they're international rookies, so they don't actually, you know, cancel out players that you'd take in the draft. It's a B, I think it's like a type B rookie or something like that. So it doesn't affect your drafting or anything like that. And that's where, you know, it's a positive for us, is that we can take these players, we can trial them and see how they go. And you know, everyone's sort of skeptic of, you know, well, are they going to do well? But you just look at Mason Cox. He is the perfect example. Jason Holmes played 4 or 5 games last year, but he's been in and out of that St Kilda side since. But Mason Cox, he was always the best of that crop, because there was more clubs going after him than there was after Holmes. But don't get me wrong, Holmes is a very good player as well. But these guys, they, you know, you look at the all-time, the new midfielder type. It's the Paddy Cripps, the 197 centimeters, 100-kilo blokes that can barge through players. You know, if you look at LeBron James, like, as an athlete, he wouldn't be a bad player, because he knows how to get into the contest, like, and he's a big dude. Like, he's a big dude. So that's why we're saying, you know, taller, you know, athletic players are the future of this competition. And it would not surprise me to, you know, see a lot more American players, or even NFL players, not just basketball players, come into the system and do really, really well. I think it's definitely on the cards. But let me know what you guys think. Like, Scotty Pendlebury is also the perfect example of a basketballer turned footballer. Obviously, he's an extraordinarily good footballer, but when he gets the ball, he has 20 million years to dispose of it, because he's just so freakishly talented with getting space and just finding it. And that's what a good basketball player does, is they find a way to move forward or find a space within the defense. And that's why they're so good, is that can transfer over so easily to a contested game. So I think that's where we look for our new superstars of the competition, is in these, you know, basketball type backgrounds, even, you know, American players, European players, although they probably want to play soccer or something. But definitely, there is an untouched medium of players that could be very, very good in this competition in years to come. Oh, Lloyd! Ugh. Edwards to re-roll down the back. Jack in the back. Oh, he takes him on. Gives him the stiff arm, and on the left, snips another one. Snags another one. Like a sausage. Beautiful. Look, this is not deliberate, eh? Oh, no, it is! I was just trying to see what would happen. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, snap around the body, Edwards. Hampson. Oh, you can't ping the big ruckman because he doesn't know how to run. Oh, they're at the back here. Yep, beautiful kick. Must say. Typical ruckman, though. Just somehow find a way to turn the ball over, Hampson. Alright, you didn't cost us a goal, but you're lucky. Anyway, for those who are unaware or missed the schedule update that I posted yesterday, every Sunday I'm going to be doing a top 5 video, something to do with video games or whatever. But this weekend I'm going to be doing a top 5 features I want in AFL, the next AFL video game. So that's what I'm going to be posting on Sunday. This time it's actually coming. I'm promising you guys that I will be delivering that video, so you can get excited, because you'll actually see it this time, rather than, you know, I've always been talking about doing it and then I never had the time. But I'm going to make it happen this week. I'm going to make it happen. So get around it. Oh, we can fly high. Why wouldn't you mark it? Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Robertson. That's a beautiful way to end. Shellacking of 7-goal proportion from Richmond here. Hanson had 2, Griffiths had 2, Reward had a couple as well. Absolutely. Get around them. The Tigers, big winners against the Saints. Watch out for the top 5 coming on Sunday. And until next time, I will see all of you guys later. While you're waiting for that on Sunday, you can click here for 2 weeks ago where we talked about a women's league, or you can click here for when we talked about rivalry round coming back to the AFL season. Like, get around it. But until next time, leave a big thumbs up, and I will see all of you guys later.